Okay, so next one is Draggles. Thanks, Draggles.
Project lead for Adobe I/O. And I've been doing this gateway that is supposed and is currently serving is fronting all the Adobe APIs. So Creative Cloud and Marketing Cloud are served through this gateway. It's pretty much, you can think of it as OpenResty all over, right, with a tiny layer of API management on top. This evening I just want to present in 5 minutes, and I'm going to make it maybe a marathon with some of the projects that you can find on the open source space. There is a play button here. All right, present, thank you. There you go. Okay, so first of all, we ship a Docker container with OpenResty plus some API gateway modules. You can find the source here. Probably I'm going to share this presentation afterwards. What's special about it is that it's pretty tiny. We built it on Alpine Linux, if you're familiar. Pretty cool image. Has some, you have to pay attention to some aspects there. It doesn't have glibc, and that may pose some problems. But if you go over that, that's fine. You can end up with maybe an image of 100 megabytes. It bundles the debugger version 2, which is sometimes useful for us just to restart a Docker container and be able to get all those debug logs. And we want to add more debugging tools like CPU flame graphs. Not working yet. If you guys are interested, there is a thread on our mailing list. But it looks like nobody really, nailed this down. We want to do it. If you want to do it as also, please join our effort too. A module API gateway request validation is what we use. It's like a simple validation framework for our API requests. The same story, OAuth, token validation, API key validation, and so on. It's what's special about it is that it's declarative and it's built on top of Nginx configuration file. I just showed on the screen how you can, just a small paragraph from the config file, how you can basically say, on this location, please validate the API key, and it uses the sub request mechanism in Nginx, so you have to provide a path and maybe an order because you may validate multiple things in different orders. Okay, that's one module that we have. Another module that is coming soon is an API gateway asynchronous logger. I know Cloudflare also has one which is a socket logger, pretty interesting module as well. What's special about this module is that we dwell in Amazon most of the time. So you would find that currently it supports Kinesis, and Kafka support is underway. We leverage an OpenResty Amazon SDK that is already open source, and I provided the link. The current module can send about 10,000 requests per second using just 10% of the 8 CPUs, 63 megabit per second, and 64 megabytes of shared dictionary. I find this pretty okay, to send this from a single node, and we're pretty happy. Again, can we take credit for the performance? Not really. It's the socket API that's going nice. Is the name, the pin size, Lua REST HTTP library. So they're working fine. Another module, this is pretty cool. We built a 0MQ adapter. There was a blog wrote one day from someone from, I remember his name, that wrote how nice would it be to add the 0MQ support for Nginx, and if you can queue the request there, and how would that look, and how easy would that be to do. So we tried to put this into the master process. We failed. It doesn't work in Nginx. So we built an Nginx adapter which leverages Lua FFI. This one specifically is a process that runs alongside the gateway. It communicates via IPC so that we don't use any sockets, and we save them. I just showed 3 lines on how you can initialize and send messages, just some numbers. I was able to test on my local machine. I was hitting Nginx with like maybe 100,000 requests per second, and I was outputting 3 messages. So I was able to get 300,000 messages per second through this 0MQ adapter. Quite cool. I found that cool. This is open source. Okay, module that is coming soon on throttling and rate limiting. It's asynchronous. It's based on this 0MQ adapter that I just showed. That's one of the key feature is that it's synchronous. It works after the request, finishes. So, just long story short, I'm going to jump into a quick demo to show you all these modules in action. And without further ado, allow me to go here. I'm going to have the API gateway hitting a Lambda function. Did you guys ever try Lambda here so far? No, like, or cloud functions from Google. All right, I'm going to say hello OpenResty meetup, and I'm going to call this through the OpenResty using the Amazon SDK. I'm going to use the logger to send the data, and I'm going to throttle also using the throttle mechanism. So let's see, I'm on the on my window here. I have an endpoint that is going to hit multiple times this Lambda function with this API key. And we should be, if everything works fine, we should be blocked at some point in time. Too many requests. I'm going to send more APIs. I think this is like on a 5 seconds basis. All right, that's it. We hit the throttle. We're throttled. Throttling works a little bit faster because it's as soon as the gateway gets that it needs to block this API key, it will do it. And lastly, just showing this in action. This request should have gone through the async logger pipe, and we have here a request done from here, appearing up here, 13. So we have the 429 errors and the 200 errors, 11 and 2. All right, that was it. Thank you. If you have questions, if you want to connect with me afterwards, this is all on the open source space. I'd love to get your opinion on it. So